YouTube, this is KittyWolf13 again with another video. Okay, so I talked about my restringing kit, so now I'm going to talk about my Faceup kit. Basically, the general rule of thumb with Faceups is that anything that has oil in it is a no-no. So, with that being said, I guess I have all the supplies I generally use laid out here on the table for everyone to see. Up front here are my chalk pastels. I don't remember what brand they are. I know they're not terribly expensive. I bought them from, I think, Walmart. Basically, you can spend more money on the chalk pastels. The more money you spend, usually the higher the pigmentation, meaning you usually get more color out of them with higher pigmentation, but it's not entirely necessary. Basically, a chalk pastel is a chalk pastel. I usually, if you look at them, I'll grind some of the pastel off the top of the brick and use the dust to color in my Faceups. So basically, if you're just starting out and you want to try to do Faceups, I'd say just go to Walmart, buy a set of chalk pastels, make sure they don't say oil or oil pastels or oil based, and you should be good to go with that. In this container I have various watercolor pencils, and again, you can buy some cheap ones to get you by to start with. The more expensive ones, again, have higher pigmentation, so they show up easier. The brand that I have the most of is the didnt watercolor pencils. I really like them. They're really nice, and I have a few like knockoff brands in here too, but I've gone out of my way to buy the didnt ones when I'm looking for particular colors that I need. I've also heard people using Prismacolor pencils, colored pencils. I haven't tried this, but I'm going to try it because I've heard that you can use it on vinyl, like such as doing Monster High custom dolls. So I have a set of Prismacolor pencils. So in my next Faceups, I might give it a try and see how it goes. If not, I'll just test it out on some spare Barbies that I have and give it a whirl and see how that works. I also have a pencil sharpener in here. Although here of lately, I've gotten around to sharpening most of my pencils with an X-Acto knife. Be very careful if you do that, but I seem to get more precision out of it. And if the lead breaks inside the pencil, you can still get a point out of it without it breaking off inside your pencil sharpener. Some people use a kneaded eraser and they keep one in here. I find kneaded erasers hit or miss for me because sometimes they get like oily and sticky and they just smudge my Faceups rather than help clean it up. So I don't use it that often. In this container, I have all my brushes. I try to have a brush for certain colors in certain schemes so I don't mix them up or I don't have to clean them that often. So basically I have like a brush for darker colors and a brush for lighter colors, and then I have one that's specifically just for blush. As you can see, it's pink. I do try and keep one that is just to wipe away the dust. And again, this is all personal preference. This brush here is actually my favorite brush for the small details like the eyeshadow and lip and the lips. But again, it's all personal preference. You're just going to have to play around with things. Some people use Q-tips. I have used Q-tips and cotton balls in the past, but I have gotten my best results using brushes, so I have done that. I don't actually use acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is good for doing Faceups. It is safe. It is water soluble, so it's safe for that. But I don't have a steady hand when it comes to paint too much, so I tend to avoid actual paint. But if you want to try paint, acrylic paint is your friend, and the tinier, thinner brushes are way better for that. Then I come over here. To remove my Faceups, I use Winsor Newton brush cleaner. Michaels will definitely sell a little bottle like this. It's kind of pricey, but I find that it works wonders. It makes removing face-ups really easy, even for some of the tough spots like gloss and things like that. Another thing you can use, which is probably cheaper, is 90% isopropyl rubbing alcohol, which you can get from Walmart or any pharmacy. I have to buy myself another bottle and give it a whirl again because somebody suggested it, and I technically have chemical asthma, so I really shouldn't be breathing in the fumes from this. Also, I don't have one now. I've been meaning to get one lately, but I highly suggest getting yourself a respirator, not a dust mask like you get, not those white medical dust masks. I highly suggest going out to Home Depot or Lowe's or Sunshine Ace or Ace Hardware, wherever your local hardware shop, and buying yourself a respirator. Respirator is very important. It keeps all the dust. Believe it or not, artists who use a lot of pastels or a lot of paints and spray paints and things like that are prone to getting lung diseases. This stuff is not meant to be breathed in. I guess I'm a bad artist because I've never taken care of that. But I worked for 1.5 years in a silk screening factory, and that's when my chemical asthma showed up, and that's when I realized I'm allergic to most harsh chemicals and most things that have a strong smell, like rubbing the 90% isopropyl alcohol, lacquer thinner, things like that. So I do highly suggest, and when I buy my respirator, which I should go one of these days and look into them, I will do a short review for you guys so you could see what I'm talking about. The ones I'm talking about are the ones with the replaceable cartridges that filter out dust and vapors and the whole 9 yards. They are about $30 to $60, so it is an investment. But I do enough face-ups, and I should have done this a long time ago. So do pick up a respirator for you if you intend to do lots of face-ups. Usually I just go outside, I spray it, I hold my breath, and I run back in. But the smells do cling to your clothes and things like that, so it's not recommended to do that way, and I do not recommend doing it that way. So please take care of yourself. Don't end up like me. Go and get a respirator. Spend the money if you plan on doing lots of face-ups. That being said, the next thing on my table is Volk's powder spray. Most people use the MSC, the Mr. Super Clear. I find it sells out really quickly, and it's kind of hard to find. So I started using the Volk's powder spray, and the only difference between this and the MSC is that the Volk's powder spray has a little bit of more of a tooth to it, so your pastels stick to it better. I think this is meant to be used as a base coat, then you do your face up, and then you use the MSC to coat it and to use it as your top coat. I use it for everything. I haven't had any problem. You can use Tester's Dole Coat. It is perfectly safe to be used on your dolls, and I hear plenty of people telling me, oh, it's bad, it's this. It's not the best. Tester's, the actual spray itself, after a while does yellow. So if you spray your dolls with it, you might end up having to redo your face-ups more often. But it does not damage your face-ups, contrary to popular belief. It's not as good. It yellows after some time, and you have to wash it off, and you have to reapply it and redo face-ups. But there are people out there who enjoy doing the face-ups on their dolls over and over again. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I used Tester's when I first started off. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than MSC or powder spray. The powder spray is a little bit cheaper, by the way. Not by much, but a little bit. So if you want to use Tester's because that's what you can find and you don't want to order from Volks USA or Junkie Spot or they're sold out, go ahead. Just know that its long-term effect is not as long-lasting as MSC or Volks powder spray. The only other thing I have here on my table, which I'm using as a light source, is an OTT light. I got this one from Joann's on a sale. They had a 50% off sale. These little buggers are amazing, but they're kind of expensive. It's basically a natural light. So usually when you're doing face-ups and stuff, you can get similar reaction to how your face-up should look like in natural light, because these lights are supposed to mimic the natural lights. So, with that being said, this is my general face-up kit that I use. Every once in a while I'll add something or I'll take something out of it because, I don't know, I'm an artist. I've been drawing ever since I can remember, so I have a plethora of just tools lying around. So every once in a while I'll experiment, but I just got to make sure it's safe for resin. Watercolor is safe for resin. Acrylic paints is safe for resin. Watercolor pencils and crayons safe for resin. Supposedly Prismacolor color pencils also safe for resin. So chalk pastel safe for resin. Winsor Newton brush cleaner safe for resin, although you should really wash your head after you've wiped the face up with it, because it does have like an oily mineral oil. Somebody told me recently that they don't trust it because it has like a mineral oil base, and that's why I'm going to look into the 90% isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol again, because I'd like to give it a try, because if it's way cheaper and does the same job with just maybe a little more elbow grease, then I'll probably switch to that. But with that being said, this is my face-up supplies, and yeah, if you have any questions about my process, I'm gearing up to work on my project dolls, which this video may or may not come up before those. Either way, feel free to ask me the process, and I'm hoping, with the help of my husband, maybe to do some in-progress videos, like showing how I do my face-ups and showing how I restring. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to actually videotape them, whether I'm going to set up a tripod and just hope that everything's in frame, or if I'm going to have my husband float around while I do it for who knows how long. So, that being said, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see more of my videos as I progress along in my process, see more of my kit videos, and just more doll reviews and figure reviews. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, shoot me an email, whatever. And I guess that's it. So without further ado, I will talk to you guys soon. See you later. Bye.